I want to talk about something that a lot of you need to hear. Why has Zohran Mamdani, the mayoral candidate, one of the mayoral candidates for the Democratic Party in New York, why is he de-radicalized at such rapid pace? Why is his messaging changed so fast, especially on Israel? And like he's been ceding ground to like the liberal foreign policy establishment and stuff. Why has he been doing this? Like a week or so ago, he stood there with like a prominent Democratic Party Zionist politician, and she said, "I am a Zionist. I love the state of Israel. I'm a staunch Zionist, and I'm here to tell you right now, Zohran Mamdani isn't an anti-Semite." And he sat there clapping. Yay! Thank you for your endorsement, genocidal, rape-supporting Zionists. Woohoo! We love ya. Why is this happening? I'm telling you right fucking now, this is always going to happen if you do entries into the Democratic Party. Electoralism in general is a sham, it's bullshit, but you can still do more than this. He doesn't have any practical reason to do this if he was just running on his own principles, right? Which I believe he does hold, or at least he did hold beforehand. You know, he's clearly willing to sacrifice them to be closer to what the Democratic Party establishment wants of him. But he was really popular when he was uncompromising. That's what got him prominent in the first place. His anti-Zionism is a big part of what made him popular. And now he's compromising on it. Why? He doesn't need to. He could run as an anti-Zionist and likely win the election anyway, but he's still compromising on it. He's going on like the mainstream news shows and like seeding on these things that no one cares about. That like is made up bullshit. Like, do you denounce the term intifada? Shit like that. Like no normal people think about this at all. And the amount of people who aren't going to vote for him if he doesn't denounce the term intifada is like 2. No one fucking cares about this. Is like made up media beat up shit. Yet Zohran chooses to go on TV and he's like, "You're right, I will no longer say the term intifada." He meets with Zionists and has them endorse him while saying they're proud Zionists. He doesn't need to do that to win the election. Doesn't need to do that to win votes. Here's the thing though. It's not to win votes. It's not for you. It's not for the electorate. It's for people far above you, far above the electorate. It's for the mainstream Democratic Party. It's him signaling to them that he's not a threat to them, that he's not going against their line in ways that they cannot abide by, that he ultimately is their guy. That's what it's for. It doesn't matter how well-intentioned he is. It doesn't matter how staunchly, deeply he holds his own principles as an individual. You join the Democratic Party, you will be made into a tool for it. They will mold you to their will. Any party does this. You join an established party, you think that you're going to change them from within? You think they're not going to change you? What a naive, cute little baby you are. It doesn't matter how well-intentioned these people are initially. They will be molded to what the party needs from them. And what the party needs from these people is to mislead you into not doing anything more radical outside the electoral system that you can't talk about on YouTube. But aside from that, more than that, not making something longer lasting, independent of them. A third party or whatever. Something that would take effort. Would take you like being like, you know, maybe we're not going to vote for this guy in this election. And we're instead going to run our own candidate, even though we can't win, just to get our name out there, to bring people into our party. To grow and grow and grow over time until we actually have political power and clout. You're going to, you know, because that's what you have to do to build a viable option. And Americans don't do this because Americans don't do politics. Americans act like politics comes to them. Whatever Democratic Party serves them, whatever the Democratic Party slop gives them, they will vote for. And they'll be like, what else do you expect? We have no other option, when they do nothing to create any other option. It's a circular logic. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You have no other option because you do nothing to create another option. And then when people are like, but don't support these shitty options they're giving you, like, but we don't have another option. And that's their excuse for it. This would not be happening to Zohran Mamdani if he was running as an independent. It wouldn't be happening. If he was the same guy with like a different campaign, because, you know, he wouldn't get the Democratic Party campaign guys who he has, like the consulting firms who he has. If he was independent, they wouldn't want to work for him. It would be more of an uphill battle to get elected. But you know what? Even if he fucking lost, imagine like an independent or someone building a second party, even coming like third place in a big time, like the election in the biggest city in the USA with like 20% of the vote. That's such a huge platform to build something long lasting and really out of the control of like the mainstream Democratic Party from. That's huge. That would be massive. From that, you could keep going and build something huge. Really, really shake things up. But they don't do that. They just run for the Democratic Party, and the same thing happens every fucking time. You know, there's people like Graham Plattner who very clearly are obvious plants, who do not believe anything remotely left-wing at all, who are just there to mislead you from the get-go. And there's people like Zohran Mamdani who probably are genuine in their intentions, in how they got started, and then it got consumed by the party. But ultimately, both these guys are going to end up being the same. They are there to de-radicalize people, to give them the illusion that they're their guys in the party already, so they don't need to do anything else. So they don't do anything else, and they just take what they're given, voting every 4 or 5 years or whatever the Democratic Party gives them. And they don't do anything else. They don't fundamentally change anything. And the longer that you wait, the worse it's going to get, the more it's going to keep happening. It keeps fucking happening. You keep voting for them. So stop. Do something else. Anything else. Anything but this. It's going to keep happening. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again, then acting like you have no other option but to keep doing that, when the reason why there isn't another option is because you're not doing anything to create it. You're doing the exact opposite. You're doing something that impedes its creation. So this excuse like, well, what else do you want? We got to vote for Graham Plattner, the mass murderer, because you have no other option, when you literally specifically don't do anything to make another option. And honestly, I don't believe that most of the people who make this argument want there to be another option. I think what they're doing is trying to make an excuse for voting for this other option because they're comfortable with it. Because they're ultimately fine with the Democratic Party. The things that Mamdani will compromise on to curry favor with the Democratic mainstream, they're fine with him compromising on those things. What's another 100,000 dead Palestinians if Mamdani will like give you some rent control or whatever? Ultimately, that's the ticket. But they don't want to outright admit that, so they try to frame it as like, well, what do you expect? You know, if you give me a better left candidate, I'll vote for them instead. No, it's that you don't want there to be another left candidate. You don't give a fuck. But maybe some of you do give a fuck and you're just genuinely misled. I'm not exactly sure how many people that is, like 3? And you'll watch this video and be like, maybe I should do something different. So yeah, do something different. No more of this, oh, but we don't have an alternative. We have to keep doing entryism. Oh my God, it failed again. When that mentality is precisely why you don't have an alternative.